I had this wild dream before any of this metaverse stuff was announced. This was probably about 2 months ago. In the dream, it was a little bit scary. I was in what felt like a dystopian future, and I saw all these people that were in headsets, in VR, but they were zombified, lost. I couldn't interact with them. They were just completely hypnotized in their headsets. And somebody turned to me and they said, "Don't worry about them. They're an Oculus." And I'm sure you get the pun, in Oculus, like the Oculus headset, but also innocuous, meaning ineffective, harmless. They were caught up in their headsets and rendered ineffective in the world. And it was shortly after this that I woke up, and I couldn't help but reflect on the dream and think, wow, that was crazy. And I was also pretty impressed with my subconscious mind for coming up with such a clever pun. And I just kind of laughed it off, but I ended up thinking about it a little bit. People get pulled into the digital world so much, so immersed, they are rendered ineffective in the real world. They're taken out of the real world, and in a sense, you lose some of your power to affect real reality when you get too lost in virtual reality. I'm starting to wonder if this was some kind of premonition or even a warning about what's to come, because shortly after this metaverse announcement was made.
The next platform and medium will be even more immersive, an embodied internet where you're in the experience, not just looking at it. And we call this the Metaverse.
As I'm sure a lot of you are aware, Facebook recently announced that they would be rebranding as Meta, and that they would be focusing on building the Metaverse. Now, I came across one of their videos recently, the Metaverse and how we will build it together, and it's a cringy video with terrible acting where Mark Zuckerberg is laying out his vision for the future of the internet, or the Metaverse. This is a place where they're hoping you'll spend most of your time in this idealistic life simulator where you can live out your dreams and meet up with your friends. It'll be a virtual safe space ruled by Facebook community guidelines. Doesn't that sound wonderful? He makes it look like it'd be a really fun place to connect and meet up with your friends, but in reality, you would just be alone with your virtual reality headset, only having the illusion of real connection. We all know that this is no viable replacement for real human connection. Now, don't get me wrong. I love gaming, and I love multiplayer games, and I love virtual reality. I have a headset myself. I wish I hadn't invested in an Oculus. Had I known they were owned by Facebook, I would have never bought an Oculus. I would have tried PlayStation VR. They're a company that I trust way, way more. After Facebook's issues with how they've handled user data and even non-user data, I have grown not to trust this company, and I am absolutely terrified by the prospect of them owning this place called the Metaverse, where we'll supposedly all work and play and be connected to, just like we are with the internet. To certain degrees, we would probably be connected most of the time, especially if we start using AR glasses, if that's something that's adopted. And I have a lot of concerns about this as well. Once you start blurring the lines between what's real and what's fake, and you lose touch with what's real, you're much more easily manipulated. They decide what you see, what you don't see, and they can influence what you believe and what you don't believe. They decide what's truth and what's misinformation in this world. And the more heavily we invest in this world, the more power they have over us. And I don't think it's healthy to invest the amount of time that it sounds like they want us to invest in this metaverse. I think it's healthy to keep virtual life and real life balanced. They want us to spend so much time in the metaverse that we even have a home space filled with our digital goods. I'm going to show you a few parts of this video I watched, so come cringe along with me and check it out for yourself.
It's also going to take ecosystem building, norm setting, and new forms of governance. This is something that we're really going to focus on.
Yeah, you want to be the new form of governance, don't you? Seriously, they need us to build it. I mean, even look at the title, the Metaverse, and how we'll build it together. That says it all. We don't have to do this. And we shouldn't.
There are going to be new ways of interacting with devices that are much more natural. Instead of typing or tapping, you're going to be able to gesture with your hands, say a few words, or even just make things happen by thinking about them.
That's terrifying. That's seriously terrifying. What if you think something and you don't want it to happen? Then what? And not only that, that means that whatever device you're wearing reads your mind. I am seriously not into that. That scares me.
Love. Check out this forest room.
Huh, let's see it.
Koi fish that fly? That's new.
This is wild. Hey, one sec.
Also enticing, isn't it?
Hey, you have to see this. Beast is going crazy.
Oh, I love that guy.
Oh, I love that guy. Really sounded like he meant that, didn't it? They're really working hard to lure you in, aren't they? And this is what freaks me out. People get lured in, they invest more of their time in this world, but they don't realize that they're going to be surveilled constantly. Every little thing you do in the metaverse is going to be under scrutiny. Every little thing you do is going to be monitored, and that's exactly what they want.
You're going to have a wardrobe of virtual clothes for different occasions, designed by different creators.
I love how he's just like, you're going to, as if we're just gonna do this. Like we're all just going to bow down to our new king, Mark Zuckerberg, and we're just going to live in his dimension from now on. He seems so certain. Well, I'm not having it. And I'm sorry I ever bought an Oculus.
In order to unlock the potential of the metaverse, there needs to be interoperability. And that goes beyond just taking your avatar and digital items across different apps and experiences, which we are already building an API to support.
I honestly think that Mark Zuckerberg wants to be in control of all this, and that's why he's so excited about it all, because he'll be in control of the main metaverse. It's like an evil plan to become king of the internet. This scares me.
Deb, do you want to take us through some of the exciting games in the pipeline for Quest?
Absolutely. Over the years, we've had the opportunity to work with incredible developers.
That was so unconvincing.
Nice. What else is coming?
Well, the metaverse is constantly evolving. So one of the most important aspects...
Oh, I love Beat Saber.
So do I. And
Cringe overload. I can't. Okay, so that was a total Zuck fest. I'm sure you've had enough of it, so we're gonna stop right there. But I did want to say that the thing that creeps me out the most about this whole metaverse thing is just how much time they're pushing for us to invest in it. It's like they want it to become an intrinsic part of our lives the way the internet has. These promotional videos that I'm seeing coming out, both the ones Meta's putting out and the ones that I've seen on 60 Minutes and all over YouTube, are a little bit alarming. It reminds me of when I was a young child in the early 90s. I saw this infomercial about the internet, and I had no concept of what they were talking about. It sounded very fascinating and very interesting, but I couldn't wrap my head around it. But before I knew it, within the next few years, my family got our first PC, and I was surfing the web by the time the mid-90s rolled around. It all happened so fast, and I'm hoping that we don't see a day where the metaverse becomes our new reality. I saw a piece on 60 Minutes recently and they said, "Welcome to the future of the internet." Yes. NFTs and the metaverse, the internet enters a new phase. That scares me. So I'd like to know what you guys think about this in the comments. I've seen a lot of my friends on social media speaking out about how they also think it's creepy, and what do you think? Is this creepy? Are you all for it? Are you excited? Are you scared? Let me know in the comments, and give me a like if you enjoyed this. Please subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps me out as a new creator here. If you have any requests for content in the future, let me know in the comments. I want to make this a really fun community, and I'm glad you're along for the ride. Thanks for watching.